I'll tell you one thing. I I I have 7 sisters, so I seen it all. Had a lot of dudes and older dudes that are friends of mine, so I've seen it all in all angles of humanity. I've been raised by women most of my life, and been around a lot of children since I was a child all the way up. And I've come to notice a couple things, like, you know, you never see the aftermath. Like, how come you don't see the aftermath? That's what I think we should do. The aftermath of Cinderella. That's what I'm thinking. You remember that shit? Because imagine going out there and doing all that, right? You know, it's one thing having a pet bird. Going out in the woods and seeing this chick, blah, blah, blah. Right? Isn't that what happened when they actually first met and then she went back to the house and then they never met again or something like that? I don't know. You women that do crazy shit, you all will have different stories. But anyway, so I want to make a show where they show the end of that. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden he comes home and shit from like fighting this battle, and then it all comes out, and he comes in and shit, and he's hanging out with his family, the same family that tried to fuck him. They just think about it. Like, how do you go through all this shit as a prince trying to find this princess, and it's all witchcraft to do it. That's the first thing that when I was growing up I didn't understand. She was drop dead gorgeous. All she had to do was get out, and where did all that other shit come from? Like, you know what I mean? It was almost, to me, like it was almost a way to take over an empire. And that was one of the things that they were showing you in that. Like, that's how you take over an empire, is you don't grab the king, you grab the queen. You always grab Lilith, because Lilith is where the seed goes. You don't necessarily have to stop the seed as long as Lilith gets the seed. Anyway, to make a long story short, think about that. You're also a king and a knight at the same time, so you're doing some work. You're doing some work out there. Drop dead chicks, man. I'm talking freaking gorgeous, dancing around. King saying you can have him anyway. I don't want him. He's like, no, I can't. I got my baby. I got my slipper baby at home. I can't do that. Then he gets home and shit, and he finds out what the fuck, man? The house stinking. The 3 sisters are drinking up the fucking beer, and the mean mother, I don't know, the mean mother-in-law all of a sudden has her own room. And she's got this big bubbling cauldron, and we're all trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. You sit there, carry on through the story now. They're trying to, like, he's coming home, and it was one thing with the bird out in the woods. I thought that was cute, bird and everything. The whole fucking forest is in my living room. What is going on here? And Cinderella has that sisters that's got that little thing going on with her nose. You've seen that nose. We all know that nose. That's the Coke nose. So now all of a sudden the 7 dwarfs are hanging out in his living room and shit, and they're shitting all over the fucking place because, well, their old ladies, Snow White's gone. They don't know where the hell Snow White is. Now they're stuck in your living room. So now somebody's doing some more witchcraft. Because the media is saying that don't eat apples and shit, but there's this one lady giving it to everybody. And the king's like, what the fuck is going on? If I would have known this shit, but no, everybody's got, the women love to do their shit in the dark, don't they? It's the truth. You can be an Eve or a Lilith. And let me tell you something, if you're a real true Eve, you don't have time for Lilith's bullshit. Because you're doing something, you're dedicated to it, and you're doing the right thing. Because even the dedications that Eve has is a lost way anyway. So they're just psychopaths coming out of psychopaths coming out of psychopaths. It's like a broken record. It's like a broken record. Eve's always got it's always the old story with Eve, but it's told through her. Just like all the other mothers prior tell their stories about their children, Eve does that. Lilith is be like, I had to beat my kid, I had to do this. Eve might say that once or twice, But that's usually just a reminder to the kid that she had to do it once or twice. That's not something to brag about or even throw out there. When you're telling stories about your own living room, you've already failed your family as far as I'm concerned. You've already failed. If you are your own broken internet and you're out there telling people personal shit about you, and when you're a liar, it's the fucked up part because you already told one lie, so you know you're only allowed to tell people, but there's 100 people, so those 10 people and you gotta keep. The next thing you know, it's catty-cordy. It's up and down. It's left and right. It's all over the place, and now you're stuck in a web. A thick-ass fucking Lilith web. You know? And she's not happy because not half the shit that she got in this web is what she really wanted in the first place. So now she's bouncing on it, trying to knock carcasses off, trying to make room for the new ones, and now she's too old and withered and nobody wants cat lady. You know? It's like, you know, the weird lady who's got one cat but 7 boxes full of litter and other, you know? That's like Goldilocks, man. Like, I'm done. No, I'm done with that. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. So just let me get this straight. You want me to climb up into the tower you're in by your fucking hair? First off, I have a problem. How old are you? And how old are you? Because if you have fucking hair like that, you're older than my mom. You're older than my mom. I don't give a shit. You got hair like that, you're older than my mom. Now I got a problem. Because my mom's reaching her 80s. And she don't even have long ass hair like that. So what am I getting hooked up to? And is this even a fucking human being? My luck, I'll get up there as Sasquatch pubes or some shit. I don't mean to be nasty. I mean to be nasty. Because I don't know what that is. So now, you want me to climb up there, and I'm fighting dragons to get to you? The least you can do, bitch, is come down and open the gate. I don't give a shit, okay? Cut your hair, bitch. Hey, Rapunzel. I'm fighting dragons down here. I'm not climbing up to you next. I'm not doing it. Get the fuck down here or I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm gonna have me a fucking meatball sub, and I'm just gonna kick it with that little fucking chick, the midget chick. I don't know. She was in the Wizard of Oz, but she was cool, a little awkward, you know. I had to get ID first because I just wasn't sure. But anyway, I'll just go chill with her. Besides, she's always got good bud, and you know, she doesn't got far to go because she's. Never mind, that was a bad joke. Anyway, but I'm saying, and now I'm trying to think of another one who's a sleeping fucking beauty. You know what? My luck, I'm gonna wake up to like charges and shit. You know what I mean? That would be my luck. That would be my luck. I would go over there and everybody would tell me this. We're all scared to go in there. We want to save her. But we need somebody pure heart that's awesome. That's like a really good guy to go in there and kiss her. Meanwhile, you don't realize it, but the 7 dwarfs are actually Jewish lawyers or something, you know? I don't know. I don't mean anything to be bad about it. But when you're crooked, you're crooked. When you're great, you know? But one thing is, Jews are good at money, and they're good at being a lawyer. You just want to be on their side when this shit happens. Can you picture that though? They're all trying to, like, here, sign a waiver. You know, all this shit. Come in, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget the fine print. Yeah, stupid fuck. Alright, yeah, just gotta kiss her, gotta wake her up, you know. My luck, I'd kiss the chick and she'd turn into a fucking frog. You know? I'd come out with a big ass fucking wart on my, it'd be horrible. It'd be horrible. You gotta read the fine print, I'm telling you. Because they never tell you the aftermath. They lived happily ever after, my ass. No, they did not. They got you hooked. There you are. Now you're hooked on cocaine. There you are. Now you're hooked on this ideal. You gotta be my hero. Bitch, you bought a dozen apples from that chick that put you to sleep last time. I have a problem with that. Well, just tell me the secret. I'm not cutting my hair for you, bitch. You know? And it's crazy because in the story they make her seem like the sane one somehow. Birds are chirping around her like she's the sane one. I don't know. She looks like a scapegoat or something to me. She looks like the trap. I don't know. She looks like a trap. I don't know. She looks like a trap. I think, yeah, that's a trap. Especially when somebody comes from the outside and gives their ID and shit. That's a trap. That's a cultic fucking what the hell. Those are those are fallen angels hanging out with your daughter at midnight. That's what that shit is. They didn't show. They showed the morning when she wakes up and shit. They didn't show the seance 15 minutes prior to the sun breaking. You know, there's a reason the birds are coming in here. You laid seed on the floor and did dances around it. That's why all the animals came in this motherfucker, you psychopath. And the mice, they're your friends? The mice? The fucking three blind mice. That's probably where the three blind mice came from, like later on and shit. Those mice. I don't know. But that's think about that shit. They all got together and weaved her. So they're not friends. I mean, think about that. That's weird how she can use animals to make stuff so that she can trick a guy into fucking being with her and shit. Because that's really what it boils down to. She's like, oh, my means have to be met. Yeah, you got animals doing shit. You're like a male farmer. You're already taking the male role at this point by making things function for you. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. It's like crazy shit. Cinderella, Cinderella, your husband's going through helly. Wow. And then you got Tinkerbell, that chick. She's a fucking troublemaker. I don't give a shit what fucking she's a little troublemaker. That's all she is. I mean, look at who they used as Tinkerbell. Does anybody remember that one when they used, what's her name? The chick that was the whore in New York, remember? Beautiful girl, whatever, and the guy slaps the box in front of her and she laughs about it, and it's like she was a hooker and then he turned her life or whatever. Like, people don't realize that's the fantasy the world went to, like taking a hooker and turning her into a housewife or something like that. I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't see that working. A Pretty Woman, I think it was Pretty Woman. It's like, what the fuck? And I love my sisters and everything. They'll tell you that, but they'll also tell you I'm full of shit and I'm a male and all that, because they can't lose that fight. They know that they wanted our mom to be more like an Eve, and they all carried the same with my mom. My mom has a 17-year-old mind. That's all there is to it. I don't care how old her body is. Her mind is set at that 17-year-old. And when you have 9 kids back to back, you know, for decades, just back to back 9 children. No matter what happens at that, that's a task. There goes your freedom every time. And there's another child, and there's another child. At least she didn't abort any that I know on purpose or anything. I mean, 9 children, then the kids are like assholes. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. You know, and this is the one thing I love about my family. I'm a brother one minute, and I'm not the brother the next, because we all come from different seeds. You have my sister Bonnie, Patty, and Charlene that come from the Reeves. That was Charles Reeves. And then you have me that comes from Kagrin. Then you have my sister Stacy that came from her father. Then you had Marianne. And then Donna. So first it was my brother Michael, then my brother Jimmy, then my sister Donna, then my sister Marianne, then my sister Stacy, then me, and then my 3 sisters, Patty, Bonnie, and Charlie. And all of us have different seed. Obviously, you can tell where by the names. So when you have Michael has a father of his own, and then my brother Jimmy and Marianne have their own father, and then Donna has her own father, Stacy has her own. So all of us are different seeds. You know, I wished that our seeds could connect, but it's almost impossible when the mentalities shifted because of our parents. You know, like my brother Jimmy and my sister Mary Ann are not bright. But God rest his soul, but they're not bright. They want to get over. They always want to conjure up an easy way to get through things, and the ideal is to try to get away with it. It's not a crime if you don't get caught. It's not a dime if you don't get bought kind of mentality. And I'm not like into that shit. That's just too much gaming. I mean, I could see if you had to do it. If you were stuck in a position where you had to maneuver mentally that way, like if you were stuck in jail or a bad ghetto or just a situation in somebody's house or your own house where you have to think a certain way, I can understand. But when you're out, just that's life for you. That's your mental thought on a daily occasion, and you're the one bringing that dumb shit on you. Anyway, so their ideal 1 minute, like I could be in front of a doctor. Okay, I could be in front of a doctor, and I could tell the doctor that I cannot use their father's, I cannot use the same kidneys as my sisters. They're not my real brother and sister. They'll get offended. Now the doctor will understand. They're dumbasses. They don't get it. They take offense, blah blah blah. But then, if I don't loan them $20 to get a crack rock or some fucking beer, or like my sister Mary Ann, I don't hold a lie for her, then all of a sudden I'm not their brother no more. Do you see how fucking ass backwards that is? How does that make any sense? Why? Because we're not the same seed. Salt clings together. Birds of a feather flock together. And when you're not the same seed, that's why I don't believe in birth certificates. Because that's the first thing that they use is they go right to the government, and that's it. They're not using that for anything but handing over the power to anybody that'll give them money for it. And believe me, when I say to you that I was literally in my teens and 20s and heard 9 and 10-year-olds talking like that, why in the background everybody's sitting there watching Jerry Springer. So when you say that no, I say yes because I was there. I seen it. I seen 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds talking about getting boyfriends and shit caught up and everything. Literally talking like that. And then at the same time, like I never understood. They'll call the cops when they're in trouble, but you're a rat if you call the cops when they do something dirty. I never understood that. I just never understood that. Well, when it comes to women, I try to explain to them, you have all that fucking power. If you really wanted your man to stand by you and do that, you first got to pick a man that wanted you in the first place for the real reasons. A lot of women want the men first. I've seen it. I've seen it 100 times over. It's almost like I say, like a web. It's like they weave a web for men. And this would be one of the times where I would like to say, not all the women, or no, I can't say that because I've seen it come out of everybody, including my own mother. I've had to literally walk away from people that only wanted war anyway. Like, I've seen people start shit just because they needed to vent. And their way of venting is causing fucking hell. Why? Because their outraged fucking psychopath fucking father who did heroin and got pissed off that he had to quit to raise his son and all this shit took it out on him. So it took a piece of shit to make an even worse piece of shit. Breed more pieces of shit. And what happens is those people that like to use that will find the one instant. Like back in the day, that was a one-off. It's not shit that was happening every fucking day. It was a one-off. But what happened is they targeted. Like racism was gone by the time I was a kid. I don't know what happened. Like, and I laugh at people about racism. They don't know what that shit is. They have no idea what fucking racism is. A true prejudice. Me, I was cross-eyed from the time I was 15 months. I was supposed to be the Gerber baby, but when I turned 15 months, my eyes turned in and I became cross-eyed. So they couldn't take. I mean, who wants the Gerber baby with fucking cross eyes? Let's face it. You know, then you have to doctor up the pages. Why do that? We can find another cute baby. And what happened was nobody stopped and realized that they put a Ouija board in the fucking house in the laundry. And this is the stupidest shit I ever heard. I want you guys to please understand what I'm about to tell you is truth. So help me God and all that fun jazz. Are you ready? Somebody thought it was a brilliant move to take a laundry basket, a laundry, not even a basket, a laundry hamper, okay, with a flip lid, and it's like woven in around, but it's flat in the back but round in the front, and it's tall, and you put clothes in. Well, they turned around and carved the edges, shaped the edges so that it would fit inside. And every time that I took out laundry or put in laundry, on the bottom it said hello, goodbye, yes, no. It had the numbers and the sun on it. It wasn't until I got older and watched, I want to say it was the movie The Gate. I could be wrong, but there was a Ouija board in the movie that I remember. And this was during, I mean, there was Ouija boards and all kinds of shit. There was like Jason movies era, so you saw that kind of shit, you know what I mean? So, and there's even a story going around where it might have been that Ouija board or not, but I lifted out of my crib, literally lifted up above the crib and fell back down or some shit like that. And it was while they were playing with the Ouija board. And then there was that situation, and all of a sudden now I got cross-eyed, and the Ouija board was with us all the way up until I want to say roughly the year I started to try to get my eye surgery. I think that was a battle with my mom and my dad for years to try to get that done. Even though the school set it up and all this shit, they always came up with another reason why they didn't want to do it. But I finally got it done. I was 14. I did it on my own. I went to the schools. My teachers brought me to fucking, excuse me, eye doctor's appointments, the whole nine. I really had to put my mother and father on blast and shit in order to get that done myself. And this is to get my eyes fixed. I mean, if I had a child that was missing a leg and the school said, look, we're not going to do digital shit, we're not going to put a chip in this motherfucker, but we do got a fucking aesthetic leg for this kid. You want to try aesthetic leg and at least let them try to walk, you know? And it was like they didn't care. They didn't give a flying fuck. They're still trying to figure out how they're going to get beer money and pay the electric at the same time. And that kind of logic just is fucking failure all the way around. But I'm not allowed to open my mouth. I'm only a child. So I can only do so much. And that's why some kids like me were lucky with the school system. I'm making a cigarette in case you're wondering what I'm doing. One of those slip things where you put the tobacco in. Because this is what I do. I smoke my fucking ass off and talk to God. Stupid, crazy shit like guys like me that see it, and then when we go to try to tell it, it's like, yeah, okay, dude, I saw Star Trek, dude. We're so going to fucking Mars. I'm like, hold on a minute now, wait. So the guy, alright, has a platform that's following everybody's voice, okay? The guy can bounce back and forth occasionally. He also wants you to know that he's going to put you to sleep for 10 years while you travel. I'm sorry, but I have a hard time sleeping near anybody I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, spending a night at somebody's fucking house or something and trying to pass out on their couch. I ain't sleeping the whole night. I'm going to be moving around when I hear shit because I don't know what the fuck to expect. But if you think I'm going to get into a goddamn machine, pardon my French, but if you think I'm going to get into a fucking machine and sleep for 10 years, I don't plan on coming back. I don't plan on coming back. I don't know what's going on. 10 years, you might as well put me in. It makes no sense. I mean, think about that for a second. That's like Bill Cosby making you breakfast. I'm just saying. You let Bill Cosby be your chef at that point, because if you're gonna fall for that, you're a stupid fuck. They can't. They are screwing shit up so bad here. I cannot believe they still have people that follow NASA like that. They have to be Masons. They have to be in a cult. There has to be that kind of logic. Like the people at CERN, I don't give a shit. When I seen that CERN ceremony, I knew that it don't matter. This is motherfucking Babylon. We're dealing with some Babylonian shit, regardless of whether you believe in it or not. They do. That's what I like telling people. I said, look, I don't care if you believe in God or not. I don't care if you believe in the occult or not. Their actions, like, oh, I don't care if they're devil worshippers. It doesn't bother me. I don't believe in God. And it's like, okay, no, that's cool and everything, but they believe it. You know what I mean? They are gonna go still through with their sacrifices and then their dirty dreams of doing whatever it is they're doing while you're still in denial. And if you raise kids that way, they're the first ones chipped. You're not thinking. And it's the birth certificate, man. I mean, I don't know. Everybody takes offense when I say that. It's like, I'm not trying to tell you anything other than you're a product at this point. If there is any kind of number or any logic to a number tied to your name, and it's not because you're talking in Hebrew or right Hebrew language, I don't know what to tell you. But if it's English and it's tied to cash, I'm just saying. I mean, your birth certificate. There's two documents. There's two of you, if I'm correct. There's the one on the water, which we already know. Noah will tell you not to go in the water. You think that motherfucker was still surfing afterwards? I don't know. Maybe he made a couple weekends out there to go fish. I would rather. I bet he fucking did it from the shore though. That or actually it just seemed like a puddle after this. I can go surfing. Maybe he was. I'm just saying. I'm trying to figure. I mean, it's a Sunday. I'm just trying to get some shit off my chest and stay focused here. Where was I? The birth certificate, man. That's the first thing they do. It's like they. It sounds like pimping to me. It sounds like you're going out for somebody and bringing back the money. So instead of the money, you bring it back a seed. And then you know, I told my wife I didn't want a marriage certificate. Let's do it a different way. Let's find out if I'm really Cherokee Indian, like on my mom's side. You know, I'm already being told that my father's side I'm related to fucking Hitler through a camp thing that they had for kids, and they snuck her out and then adopted the baby. I don't know, all kinds of shit's fucking weird, man. Like when you go to my bloodline, everything halts. It's like nobody wants to go any further. And then my sister has to throw it out about it. See, my father just kept saying that our bloodline was cursed. You know what I mean? Cursed. That was all, like bad luck, you know, the Irish luck. Like we got the Kagrin luck. That's how we talked about it, kinda, you know? But the more I got into it with them, the older I got, you know, remember, maybe you don't know, but whatever. I didn't meet my father until I was 13 anyway. Do you understand? So I didn't even know. I was raised to believe my last name was John Reeves, not John Kagrin. Even in the school district today, now let me ask you something. If I called a school and said my name is John Kagrin and I have problems with my records, and they say the name that comes up for Kagrin is Reeves, and you were born in 1980 when you're John Kagrin, John Robert Bernard Kagrin. See, when I was raised, my brothers said that when they went to go tell me that Buddy, call Buddy, not Dad, that I used to get my ass beat, and they used to say, oh no, that never happened. I got my ass beat for so many things when I was a kid. I don't remember which one was for what. I was an abused fucking kid. I don't give a shit what anybody says. First off, I went through the pain of having headaches and stuff when that shit happened with my eyes turning in. And that went on for fucking ever. It was the scariest and most horrible time of my fucking life. And even to this day, they predicated it as a cold or, oh, you had the flu. No, you don't understand the monstrosity shit that I went through. I was very young and I had echoes of voices in my head that don't belong to me. They sounded like they were coming from everywhere. And I've had times where I've had things sit on my chest that I couldn't breathe or move or do anything. And when I bring that up to them, as a kid, you have to shut your mouth, because then they want to put you on meds and all this. Now you got to shut your fucking mouth. You can't say certain things. The church wants to talk to you, and then you shut up about it. First time that I actually seen him in physical form, shortly afterwards, a divorce happened in the family, and the house, the whole complex was gone. There was nothing wrong with it. There was no reason for New Jersey or Monmouth County to destroy that complex that I know of. And you gotta remember, this was at a time where you're not allowed to say shit like that. Nowadays, you can go on fucking line and tell everybody your story. You couldn't do that back when I was a kid. They would want to put you on. They would want to put you on meds and shit. When I was 11 years old is the first time I thought like an actual man. Now I'm not saying I was in the habit of a man, but I thought logically like an adult, because I saw all the adults my whole life. Most of the time I was hanging around adults, and I started putting shit together after that experience. And I remember how it happened. Now it makes sense, because my brother brought in satanic shit, not realizing it. So we still have the Ouija board in the laundry basket, in the laundry room at this time. And I'm 11 now. So I went from 15 months to 11, and this fucking Ouija board is still in this fucking house. And I don't know anything about it yet, because I couldn't put all that together, remember? Not just yet. Not until I saw that movie or whatever. So, a weird incident happened at the same residence. For some reason, my stepfather's best friend, his father's house burnt down, and he needed a place to stay, so I gave him my bedroom, and I slept in the living room. And then that's why I remember being in two places at once, kind of. I remember when I came to after seeing these creatures, my jaw was still open. It was weird. Mouth was dry as fuck, and it was just like I was paused in motion for so long. This is the weirdest fucking thing. And then I remember them coming to the door and wanting to come in. Just barely remember if they did or not. It's flashy. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't know how to explain what I was looking at to anybody until I actually saw somebody else draw one, and then all of a sudden I'm into aliens. And I was just trying to figure out what they were, you know. And then I found out later on that it's not a hoax. It wasn't something that happened to me on accident or nothing. Back in 1999, 90, and 91, there was a flap of UFOs over the same waters that I was living on. And it was kind of weird that every time something happens to me, it just, like the one house I lived in Hazlitt, that disappeared too. Now they don't have an apartment, it's just a, what do you call it? And then the other house where the UFO shit happened, that house and the whole complex, it was a complex. It was it was funny. It was just like one thing to have like a studio part, or not studio, a 2-bedroom, I guess it was, I forget, 2-bedroom apartment behind a pizzeria on Beard Street, and then all of a sudden that's not an apartment no more. I don't believe it's just a pizzeria now. But that was a hard life too, because I'm literally living on Beard Street where every house is $1 million home, and I'm living with my family. And my brothers were drunkards and potheads and drunkies. And potheads one thing, but when you're snorting cocaine, acting like an asshole drunk in the backyard in a tent because you can't get your life fucking together. And then he's got a what do you call it? He gets a car and he enters a demolition derby, and he's got a girlfriend, he's got kids and all that shit. He lived his life the way he did. Fine, I understand that. But how come every time I open my mouth and I try to do shit in a legit way, I get attacked? And then I figured it out. It's because every time I open my mouth, when I'm gone, I'm away from my family, they keep talking. And when you're not there to defend yourself in a lot of occasions, it just keeps going. People just keep talking. And then all of a sudden 20 years passes by and you come by and they realize that a lot of the shit that was said was all bullshit. Then everything hits the fan. And everybody wants to bring up this and that, next thing you know, there's a war. And I hate to tell you, 90% of that shit's female. Guys are out working. Guys are out living. A real Adam is out there doing that shit. You know, earning, working, blistering his hands, not acting like a bitch boy. You know, not working because daddy got me this fucking job. I went out and earned my own keep. You know, you don't got that. You don't got anything. Me, I like being self-sufficient. There's a rule. If God created this place, then He must have created everything we need. So if He created this place, whether He flooded it out or not, He told Noah what to keep. Told Noah what to keep. There's the animals. There's certain these things. You know, blah blah blah. I've done my thought experiments just like Einstein. His claims of his led to the mathematical equations and stuff. Mine led to the experience with Noah. And people can make fun of me on that. That's awesome sauce. But you're still paying attention to people that are holding up corpses of babies and dancing in red fucking attire while kids are dressed up like sexual toys. So as long as that's going on, I guess my story's not so fucking bad anyway. You know, and depending on if you're hearing this, I don't know, you could always go look at my flat earth stuff on the Dubs Feather online. John Robert Bernard Kagran, you know. I got my own little thing. It's called Art of a Feather at Redbubble. I do what I can do. I'm just an unknown artist. And I don't have exactly the funds every time to do anything for myself because, you know, I hate the fact that I do a lot for everybody else and I don't get what I want out of it, but I always get what I need out of it. I know that doing, like, taking care of my mom up until the day she dies is the best thing that I could do for me. First off, I don't want to feel guilt when she's gone. And I treat her like a 17-year-old minded person because, for two reasons, it's better. Because it's better to know that there's a reason behind your mom's behavior. It's just better to know. Whether it's a good reason or not, it's better to know that there's actually something behind it. It's not deliberate. And then you find out your mom's not a bad person. Your mom's actually a chill person. But she's more like, my mom played the role of Lilith but acted like Eve. Like, Lilith don't give a shit. She'll go out and she'll rob and steal just to get fucking some food in the house, just kids shut up, blah blah blah. My mom wouldn't do that. My mom always relied on a lot of people. So she wanted to live the lifestyle of a working woman, play like that in a lot of ways, you know. And then when she did play the mom role, you had all the older brothers and sisters so pissed off that she's actually playing the role that they would screw it up too, and then upset my mom, and then my mom would throw her hands up in the air and say, fuck all of you. Like, I don't know if anybody was told at the age of 5, I can't wait till you're fucking 18. I mean, like, could you wait till I'm like 16, 12? Could you wait till I'm 12 before you tell me you can't wait till I get the fuck out of your house? I'm like, bitch, I just got here. Okay, I'm on year 5, and I already got fucking aliens at my door. I got witchcraft happening. I'm fucking cross-eyed. I know I got parasites in my body. And now that I'm older and I look back, I know that. When I met my father, I was shitting worms out of my ass. I'm not kidding. And then my mom's answer to that was, oh, don't worry about it. It goes away. That's the same thing that happened to your sister Marianne. The one I told you goes fucking nuts all the time. The one that also has a crossed eye. The one that also has these bubbles on her chest and stuff. I have one on behind my ear. I wanted to get rid of that fucking thing, but circumstances pending, it's like, fuck. I could not. I'm glad that I lived the way I lived. I'm humbled as shit. Anybody that really knows me knows that. I don't need much. I don't need much. I'm the type of guy that hit the lottery and take everybody out to eat. Because I'm stupid like that. I mean, not so much now. Now, if I think I hit the lottery, what I would do is set everybody up with certain, work ethic, and then whatever the work provides, you get a percentage of that, whether you were the employee or not. So if you were an employee to me, I would automatically have a year's worth of money put away for as if you already worked that year. That way, if my company failed, my employees would walk away with at least that money I promised them that would be there if my company made it. That's the logic that I would have as a Christian-hearted businessman. They don't have that shit now. They don't even know if they're gonna fucking make profits at the end of the month. Do you understand that? They don't know. It's Yahtzee to them. They don't give a fuck, okay? And they're always gonna make sure that their fucking bunkers are fully packed before they do a damn thing for you. And every village and city should have that type of logic. Do you hear me? You should not have a village over 500 people. What you should do is you should like a village is what I mean by that is like a village. You have your main homestead, like the castle, your town square, your castle for every village, and it has just walled off, and you have like 500 people. But everything that the village does is for the village first. So if you have mills and all that stuff, the first thing you do is you pile up everything for the village. And you stack it in there, and so everything's for the village. Anything after that should become sold, and then whoever runs the mill gets paid to run the mill, and then gets a percentage for doing that. I think Alaska does that with oil. That's how I would run shit, because you know what? I don't want to placate to people's bullshit. The only reason I would ever want to placate to people's bullshit is if it was going to benefit me. And the only way that does is if I'm a crooked-hearted person, and then at the end it never benefits anybody, because eventually lies gotta come out. It's will I be dead before that happens? Will I be dead like the virus and all that shit that they talk about, the vid or whatever or not? I don't know. There was a reason it went out there, and they even tell you the devil has to let you know ahead of time. You are not smart enough to see it, and that's how the devil wins. That's all that is. The devil wins because you're not smart enough to see it. He has to let you know there's a left and right. Alright, so you're at the end of a road here, and there's a new chapter beginning, and whatever your travel's on. You have a choice. You got left or right. And here's a fork in the road. Pick a path, My thing is, it's not that. You're not going to change the shit that's around. You just got to pick a side to it. And I think that's what the gist of this is. And me personally, I want to go back on Adam's side, because I hear too much of Lucifer in both sides. Because even the ones chanting that they're pro USA, pro all that, they're still handing over. I mean, you're still buying projects. As long as you're buying the products from these people, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. If BlackRock owns everything, and you got Soros out there, and you got the fucking, even your Commonwealths are owned by the king, right? And didn't Disney give up the fucking land to Britain? I mean, what is going on? Why can't an Adam just stand up and say, see these 10 rules? 6 of them you automatically have to follow. The other 4, that's up to you and God. But as long as you're walking around and there's no stealing, there's none of those bullshits. So the man laws, these commandments will stay forth. Now, when it comes to who you're going to believe in, whether you're atheist or Jesus or God or whatever, you take that up with God. But my rules stay fast. And I would have territory just like Washington. And that would be me. This is what I'm going to do. No, fuck you. This is my land, my territory, my people. I will watch over this, so that this can produce wealth and stuff for my brothers and sisters out there in Babylon, because you decided to build that shit on American soil. You need a breaking point. And you need to start that way. That's how a revolution starts. You know? People get so pissed off that there's a king above them, they don't realize what the king could be. A good king is an uncle. A bad king is that wicked stepfather. That's the difference. The wicked stepfather who never belonged, it's not part of the blood, versus, that's what it is. It's who's taking charge of whatever. It doesn't matter who it belonged to originally, who's running the show now. Because remember, like Aleister Crowley said, you'll call them angels and demons today, and tomorrow you'll call them something else. And 3 short decades later, we started calling them aliens. There's 2 books out there. I mean, you can read about your Anunnaki and everything, but that sounds like fallen angel bullshit to me. That sounds like fallen angel bullshit to me. Because when I do my thought experiment, and I see what Noah went through, I'm telling you right now, first off, you can't time travel, right? Because if you stop in time, whatever's going through space will continue. So if you're spinning in outer space going 1,000,000 miles per hour and you're never in one spot in space for more than 9 seconds, as soon as you go to travel time, you're stuck in that position in time. But when you go to the future of time, Earth won't be there by that math. That's why I know it's a system. Besides that, World War II, the 50s, well, it was a World War II, so you had like the 30s, 40s, and 50s that were using flat Earth maps to set it right on the on the shit. No, you don't know what you're talking about. I watched Bill Nye, the science guy. Yeah, well, it's fucked up because he used the same experiment that proves that the Earth is flat as it was to make it look like it was round. So think that one again, because you're using the same experiment to flush out the fact that there's a bend when that same exact experiment was shown that it's optical. It's a straight edge, it's optical illusions. In case you're wondering, this time I'm smoking on my bowl. And then I gotta call it a night because I probably talked your ear off and you probably didn't even listen through this whole video anyway. But if you did, just realize I'm an unknown artist. I got a heart of my own and I've been through the thick of it. I'm a humbled man and I'm glad that I'm humble. Actually, I started humbling when I was young. Everybody else would get hot rods and stuff. I got held back because of stupid like trespass and warrants and shit like that. And I never had parents that had money anyway, so when I did get in that little bullshit, nobody was bailing me the fuck out. But yeah, when my parents got in trouble with the laws and bills and shit, the first thing they're doing is saying, "What? But I'm your mom. I'm your dad." It's my unbirthday too. I'm like, fuck me running. I'll give you one more example, and then I'm gonna call it nights. My father buys me a Super Nintendo. Less than, I want to say it was shorter, but I'll give it. I say it was shorter time than that, but I'll give it 3 days. And he came to me with a receipt and wanted it back. And he got me a pack. I'm like 14 at this time, I think. 14 or 15. No, I'm 14. Yeah, I'm 14. No, it had to have been before I was 14 because my eyes weren't straight yet. So I was 13. Because my eyes didn't get straight till I was 14. So I was 13. Yeah, it was still around the same time I met my dad. Matter of fact, it was probably within the first 2 years of my dad. Anyway, so he brings me the fucking thing. Like, my parents did this shit all the time. When they gave me something, they always took it back from me. Always took it back. I never understood that. I never got to hold on to possessions my whole life. And everything that I got was hand-me-down. So my dad, he gets me the Super Nintendo. I was all ecstatic about it, blah, 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 and he takes the fucking money. And he takes it back with the receipt. Tells me he's going to get me, I don't know, I think it was a Sega. I'll get you a Sega or something. He was trying to talk me into it. I'm like, I just had this fucker for 3 days. And he, okay, whatever we need to do. So he gets me a pack of cigarettes and he's got beer. And I'm doing the fucking math. Like, what was so... You know... What was so important? Like, you just bought pizza. You didn't buy... You could have spent $12 and got soups and stuff for a week. Instead, you took that money back from me and you got pizza for everybody one night. You got yourself beer, lotto tickets, and then you got me a pack of cigarettes and told me not to tell my mother. And I never got that back. My truck, I had a truck that's still in my friend's backyard to this day. That was my truck. I was given that truck when I was 16 years old, and he never gave it to me. He left it out in my friend's backyard. It's there to this day. Probably got a tree trunk growing right where the fucking 351 motor is in that bitch. The thing was, the year I was conceived, 1978, Ford F1 350 pickup flatbed with an extended cab. I loved that fucking thing. It was ugly as shit, looked like Sanford and Son, but that was supposed to be mine. So that's kind of why I'm looking for like an Eve, and I think that's why a lot of women make fun of me, because they're heartless, you know. And then when you do find an Eve, you think you're doing it right. It's just a mask. You accidentally find Eve. That's what I think. You automatically know when she's there. I haven't seen it, but I've given my heart out to so many. So my problem is if I would, I need to sit and think for a second, because I think like a dove. I want to go out and come back home to my nest, where all the women I've been with are more like ravens. You know, even the kind, loving ones, they're still at the end ravens. They're not Liliths. And I think once a woman signs that birth certificate, that's the end of it, because now your children become a stock. You know, now they're numbers. They're not blood no more. They're not flesh and blood. Now they're numbers. Here's the numbers that go to your body with your real signature. Okay, and this will go to the bank. This is all capitals. Okay. Now, see in the back of your social, those are your cool numbers. Those are the ones that are going to get you shit, okay? Like Social Security, okay? But then these red ones back here, that's for the bank, okay? Because that's your body. Like your blood? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Just remember what happened with Noah on those waters. Remember how hard that Noah was just waiting to get back on solid ground. How could you be this guy? I don't know. Well, either way, that was another rant I did. This time I didn't sing your ears off, and I appreciate. Just like I said, I'm trying to be my own artist. I have a Christian heart. That don't mean I'm going to church every weekend and all that, because I do believe a lot of that's tainted. But there's 10 commandments, and I'm trying to live by them the best way. There's no reason for me to steal if nobody owns anything. If you're buying it with fake money, everything's fake. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no sense of stealing. And there ain't nothing that I need to steal. I have oxygen. I'm good. You know, food will come out. And that's another thing I think that I became so strong over the years, is because I fasted. When kids starve, they're fasting. And their mentalities can adjust that way. They can be angry in that fasting, and fall for it. Like when Jesus fasted and the devil was out there, you could have that mindset, fuck it, I'll just turn everything into bread. And then you're going to crack all your teeth. I don't even know if that made any sense. But either way, thank you, and help me become somewhat of an artist, guys. I mean, I got plenty following me. I did the math. If everybody on Twitter that is on my Twitter thing, if they all just spent $1 on a sticker or something from my thing, I would be able to get out of this little money problem I got. Okay, so what I'm telling you is, this art isn't just because I need to release myself. I could use the change, guys. I am poor. I am humble, so if I do get the money, you better believe that it's going to be spent on pot and every best thing around me possible. So those are the two things. So I'd get a car. I'd spend more time with my child for the first time since she's up there. She's close to the age of when she was born. That's how old she is now. When I was you know what I'm saying, the age or whatever. But anyway, John Kigren, what's that about? On YouTube, John Kagrin, A Dove's Feather, YouTube, a Rumble. There's 2 A Dove's Feathers. One has the bird and one has my face. Please hit them up. The more it turns out, these guys watch a few commercials. I can even get like 15 cents for that. So even if you don't like the video, at least watch the 2 commercials. Let them run through for me, because you don't know. First off, there might be something with them, and then I found out I could actually get paid to do the shit that I'm doing. I could really use that help. I mean, I could go gangster. I could go sling some Krizak and do all that stupid shit. I'd rather do this. So if you want to help a real, again, I'm a Christian-hearted man. That's what I mean by it. I'm a Christian heart with a trucker's mouth. I'm doing the best I can, and I would say amen to that, but I'd rather just say always, because I heard amen might be actually saying something to somebody else. So I don't know. Everybody keeps lying, but so I talk to God to it, to a way that I understand, that I know. So that way, if he ever has to reread my mind or look at the book later, he can see what I'm thinking, because he does know my heart. But that doesn't mean that he's gonna let me get away with shit. That's like one guy has 8 wives, and he's called like that's bad. But then when you got Noah, I mean, he's gonna need to have 30 or 40 wives to kickstart shit. So it all depends. Everything is for a reason. So at the end of anything, I always say always, because usually I'm thanking him anyway. Like I'm going to thank you and say peace. Bye bye. Yeah. Happy Sunday.